So after all that work, once it's been repainted, once it's been sanded, repainted, and you put grip tape on it, you've got yourself a nice bomber skateboarder like this. My name is Shawn Connelly. I live in San Francisco, California. I skate for Circle A Skateboards, and I'm co-founder of the SF Skate Club, a skateboarding program for youth. Now today I'm going to talk and explain to you how to build skateboard decks. So this is a great way of recycling your old skateboard. A lot of times you skate a board, it's worn down to the nub, there's nothing left, it's all cracked and chipped and it's no good, it has no more pop. But this is a way that you can take your old board and turn it into something that's new. You can give it as a gift, you can paint it, you can skate it. It's just for fun, and it feels pretty good to actually make a skateboard yourself, a skateboard shape, and be able to skate it. So the things that you're going to need for this are an old skateboard deck. You're going to have to get access to some sort of shape that you want to make it. And in this case, I'm using the shape of this FTC zip zinger shape, which is perfect to recut because it's so small. It's smaller than most skateboard decks. So that's the thing, like the skateboard deck that you're going to be cutting has to be larger than the template that you're using because you're cutting off pieces, so you're making it smaller. So what you want to do to trace the board is get 2 bolts, preferably large ones, the kind of bolts that you would use if you had riser pads. So they would be, I think, 7/8 inch, the larger ones. And you put it through one of the bolts of the skateboard. So I send the bolt through, and then I place it on the table. Now what this does is it sets the board up and mounts it so I know it's not going to move. And I believe that this wheelbase is the same as the board below it, so it should be perfect. So I'm going to line this thing up, and it looks like the width of the widest point of this board is equal. So we'll be doing 2 cuts, one around the top, meeting in the middle, and then one around the back, and then meeting in the middle here. So I grab my Sharpie, and I've got this lined up. It looks pretty good where it is. I'm kind of eyeballing it, but then I'm going to draw a little line here and get my shape going. Now if you kind of pick like an angle to use your Sharpie, like I'm going to kind of pick going straight down, you want to stick to that. So I take off this piece, and I've got the deck, and I can see where my cuts are going to be, and it looks nice and even to me, and I can kind of understand where I'm supposed to go. Now, the other most important part of building your skateboard is one of these, and I have a jigsaw here. Now these are great. You pretty much need to be an adult. You need to have some sort of knowledge of tools to be able to do this. So now I have my skateboard in a position where it's not going to move. I've got a vice grip here, and it's bound down, so it's not going to move any. And I sort of have this in a position so that I can give this demonstration good, so you can see how to cut it. So in any other case, you might want to put it down on maybe a milk crate or on a flat surface and maybe put your foot on top. That might work good too. But in this situation, I think it's best to show you this example like this. So I got a couple boards wedged in here, and this thing is up here. So the hardest part is kind of starting it, because you're starting, in this case, from nothing and cutting into the board. Get a good foothold here, lay it flat on here, and start cutting. Now one of the harder parts is when you get to where the nose starts to bend up, and you'll notice it's hard to keep your saw flat on the board. So you just want to keep it as close as possible to the board, because if you pull back, the jigsaw goes up and down, and it can sort of get dangerous. It'll sort of start to jump. So you want to keep it as flat as possible, even though it's not, the board itself is not flat. And I'm going to keep cutting. So there, I got my edge done. Put this away. I'm going to take this whole thing off my vice grip here. Now, when you peeled your grip tape off in the initial tracing part, you're going to want to save that grip tape if you can, because the grip tape will make a perfect sander. You just roll it into itself. See, this is the one I used when I made the gold bomber over here. And you could just take this, sort of put it, you know, this is just for your example, and sort of drag it down. And I mean, skateboard grip is as good as any sanding paper you can find. So you can see here, I've got my nose part reshaped. And it looks like it's going to be pretty fun to skate. Grab a can of spray paint, spray the whole board down, nice and even, give it a night to dry, and then it's ready to grip and skate. So after all that work, once it's been repainted, once it's been sanded, repainted, and you put grip tape on it, you've got yourself a nice bomber skateboarder like this. My name's Shawn Connelly. I'm from San Francisco, California. I skate for Circle A Skateboards, and I'm co-founder of the SF Skate Club, a skateboard program for youth. If you want to learn more about that, check out sfskateclub.com.